friends, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the books I plan to read in April. And I tried to keep it pretty easy just because, who am I kidding? I never keep my TBRs easy, but let's just kind of get started. So I'm filming this on March 29th and I don't know if I'll have time to finish the book, but that is Wolfsong by TJ Klune. This is following Ox, a young boy who has kind of been left alone his entire life. He's not the smartest out there, so he doesn't really feel like he fits in. That is until a new family moves in, and this young boy named Joe, who has taken a particular liking to him, starts to integrate him into his family, and you know, things grow, and we follow Ox throughout most of his life, I believe. Like, I think right now he's like 20 something, 24 maybe. It's interesting so far. There is LGBT rep, plenty of LGBT rep in this book. The next book is a buddy read with my lovely friend Andrew, and that is Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica L. Sanchez. This is a book that's been on my physical TBR for a hot. I bought this a while ago and I've been meaning to pick it up, but I just keep forgetting, or I somehow get sick every time this is on the TBR. So fingers crossed I don't get sick when I try to pick this up. But I don't know exactly, like, I don't remember the synopsis off the top of my head. I just know that it's following this young girl who is kind of trying to make sense of her older sister's death and trying to find her own place as she's kind of graduating, and realizing that this is not exactly how traditionally brown people tend to follow their lives. It's just not. Like, just from judging the synopsis, I'm not Mexican, I'm Filipino. Hi. Nice to meet you. But it's just reading the synopsis seems very personal to me, so hopefully I enjoy it. I heard it's a really good book, and I think it's going to be a pretty quick read once I pick it up because the font is pretty big, but I'm hoping that I do enjoy it because it's been on my TBR for a minute, and I'm afraid that the hype and me hyping it up in my brain is going to somehow not make it good for me when I read it. But we're hoping. The next one is a book that I am super excited to get into just because it's one of my favorite authors. If you guys have watched my haul, you know what book this you should have an inkling what book this is, and that is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one of her backlisted works and follows this young couple who have been married for I think quite some bit, and they finally reach a breaking point in their marriage where they decide to separate and take a break. Now, from the synopsis, it looks like it does open up the idea of monogamy and polygamy and polyamory, and kind of the healthy boundaries that come with it, and how to kind of maintain the current relationship, and what exactly it means to love in a more open and broader sense rather than a monogamous sense. I'm interested just because Taylor Jenkins Reid has a weird way of writing romance novels. I feel like her romance novels are very niche, and they aren't exactly what you would expect. They're very focused on an idea that isn't really explored in other romance novels. So I'm very excited to read this one. I have enjoyed her previous romance novels such as Maybe in Another Life and Forever Interrupted. I think After I Do I have one more of her backlisted works to read, and then I have her complete collection. But yeah, I really enjoy her romances. Hope she writes more of them in the future, though she does dominate the historical fiction aspect of her books. I think that how she navigates romances is also very interesting and very fun, very different. The next one is another one that I bought a while ago, and that is The Cold Is in Her Bones by Peter Nell van Arsdale. This is a Greek myth retelling following Medusa. It's following this young girl in this village where every year a girl in their village gets taken away by this curse. Soon another girl appears in their village, and the main girl, Mila? I'm gonna say Mila because there's two L's. Mila finds herself drawn to this girl until she disappears again, and now Mila has to figure out kind of how to navigate this curse and whether or not she can save the girl who was kind of taken pretty quickly by this curse. If the angle has changed, just know. My battery died. But the next book on my TBR is one that's kind of been very popular on the BookTube sphere. I've been meaning to pick it up, and I just kind of bit the bullet when I went to Barnes & Noble this weekend, and I bought it. Because that's who I am. And that is Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a YA contemporary novel following a young girl named Enchanted who wants to be a singer. It's everything that she wants in life, and she ends up winning a contest. However, this contest leads her down a very dark path where she gets groomed by the person training her, I believe. And one day the door opened because there's a cat and not because of a ghost. And one day she wakes up to find her abuser dead and her covered in her blood, and everything kind of points to Enchanted and this being her fault. And this being her fault. Trigger warnings for this, very obviously. This also in the front of the book, which I appreciate. Oh, here we go. Content warning for mentions of sexual abuse, rape, assault, child abuse, kidnapping, and addiction to opioids. I have heard nothing but good things about this book, and I'm super excited to pick it up this month. The second to last book is an anthology, and that's one that I've been meaning to get to, and I keep forgetting, but I remembered. And that is Monstrous by Leslie Tenorio. This is an anthology of Filipinos all over the world. We have one in Manila, one in LA, and that's all I really need to know. The author himself is Filipino, so I'm super excited to see stories he has come up with. I believe he's a pretty prolific writer. We have The Atlantic, Plowshares, Manoa, the Best New American Voices in the Pouchard Prize anthologies, and also in the Zoetrope all-story Plowshares. So, super excited to read this. Hopefully I enjoy it. I haven't heard anything about this book, so fingers crossed. And the last book is one that I'm not sure I'm going to finish or even start this month, but you know, who is it not a Therese TBR if she does not get overly ambitious at some point in the year? And that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This is a YA high fantasy novel following young Selena Sardothian as she tries to reclaim her throne. This is the last book in this series of 7 books. After this, all I have left to read is Assassin's Blade, and I'm officially done with Throne of Glass. I'm super excited to read it. Empire of Storms left off on a pretty big cliffhanger, and then to boot, Kale's story also, while we are now on speaking terms, it also left more to be desired. So I'm happy to finally finish the series, and I'm also glad it came out in paperback. So super excited. Don't know if I'll be able to get to it. I also just don't know how to feel about the cover, because everything else has like a pretty like kind of dark cover, and then this one's just yellow. It's yellow. So hopefully I enjoy it. But Sarah J. Maas, I haven't read any of her other, well, I have read actually. I haven't read her finish a series since A Court of Wings are Ruined, and that one was kind of A. So we can hope. That is it for the books that I plan to read in the month of April. Hopefully I read everything and I enjoy it. But until then, hit like, subscribe, comment. Please let me know down below what you guys are planning on reading. Any books that I have listed will be in the description. And until next time, hit like, subscribe, comment, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful week, and if not, hopefully the rest of your week gets better. But until then, bye.